Whee! Hey guys, this is Dean. Welcome to the Songwriting Studio. And in this video, we are talking about how to build a home studio, a high quality home studio for $300 or less. And I'm gonna be giving you my personal recommendations for gear that might be right for your home studio. So let's jump in. So when we're talking about building a fully functioning, high-quality home studio, there's really 5 things that I think of that you have to have. Number 1, you have to have a microphone. And I would like to suggest that if you're going for a high-quality home studio, that you start with a condenser microphone. Condenser microphones tend to capture a more detailed performance than your typical live performance mic. And in this category, I have 2 recommendations at 2 different price points. First is the Behringer B1 large diaphragm condenser microphone. This will only cost you $99 brand new. There's even places on eBay where you can get it for $89 brand new. This is a very high quality mic. I have friends that use it. I've heard it in recordings and I know it does a solid job, and I highly recommend it because of its quality and its low price point. But you might be asking, well, what do you use, Dean? Well, I'm going to tell you what I use. My second recommendation is the microphone that I've been using for about 6 years here in the studio for everything from original projects to clients to even the videos that I do, and that is Bluebird. Now, the newer models cost $300 brand new, but the older model that I have, you can get a used version of it for $150 to about $190. I really like this mic because it gives a breathy, bright, detailed vocal, and this is the mic that I've used in the studio for all of my projects and even for my video projects. You can't see it right now, but there's a microphone hiding just out of our shot. So even when my video quality was pretty terrible, my audio quality has always been good because I run it through this mic and then I do a little mixing on the back end. So you might be asking, was the Blue better than the Behringer because it's a little more expensive and because Dean uses it? Honestly guys, I've used projects where we use both microphones and you really can't tell the difference. If price is an issue, please don't go out of your way to get an expensive microphone, especially if you're just getting started. The Behringer B1 is a solid option and it would actually be my #1 recommendation, but I also really love the Blue mic and I use it myself. So there you have it. Essential piece of equipment number 2 will be your audio interface. The audio interface acts as a translator between your microphone or your instrument and your computer, because you can't just plug in a microphone or an instrument straight into the back of your computer. You need a go-between device, and that's your audio interface. And in this category, I'm just gonna keep it really simple and give you one single recommendation, and that is the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. This puppy comes in at $99. It gives a very clean, clear signal, and it's incredibly easy to use. You just plug it right in. You don't need any extra drivers or any extra things. It's truly a plug and play device. And again, this is the one that I use every day for my music production projects, my video production projects. They all run through my little audio interface. That cost me $99. And as always, if you're on a budget, you can find used models on eBay or Guitar Center for around 70 bucks. One quick note on this, the Solo only gives you 1 microphone input and 1 guitar input. So if you wanted to record in stereo, then you would need to step it up to the Focusrite 2i2, which gives you 2 XLR inputs. If you had no idea what I was just saying, then don't worry about it and go with the Solo. All right, moving on to essential number 3, and this one's a given, but you're going to need a recording program, a DAW, what's called a digital audio workstation. And if you followed this channel at all, you know that I like to recommend starting with a free program. And specifically, if you're starting out on Mac, I would recommend starting with GarageBand. If you'll be recording on PC, then I would recommend starting with Pro Tools first. Both of these are free programs, and they're both what you would call little brother programs, in that GarageBand is the little brother to Logic, and Pro Tools First is the little brother to the full program Pro Tools. And what's awesome is that you get about 90% of the tools, of the features, of the functionality of the paid programs in the free version. And can I be honest with you? The majority of people who record their own music will never actually go beyond needing GarageBand or Pro Tools first. But if you are moving into more advanced stages of recording and music production and mixing, then you're starting in a program that allows you to step into the bigger program, and it's not just a totally new thing, a totally new interface. It's really the same program with a few more advanced features. Item number 4 that you're gonna have is a way to monitor or listen to your music. So that means you're gonna have to have some headphones or studio monitors. Now, I'm not gonna talk about studio monitors in this video because they'll typically start around $300 for the pair. And since we're talking about a $300 home studio, I would like to recommend using headphones. Now, I'll say here, if you're starting out on a budget, use your earbuds. Using expensive headphones or monitors doesn't make your songs any better, you just can hear them with a little bit more detail. So for headphones, I don't have a specific model that I want to recommend, but I will say I wouldn't go below about $50 because you do get what you pay for. So anything in the $50, $75, $100 range is going to be a solid pair of headphones. Then microphone, interface, headphones 5. The 5th piece of your home studio is optional in my opinion, and that is a MIDI controller. A MIDI controller is a small keyboard that hooks into your computer and into your recording program and allows you to control and play and record software instruments, also known as MIDI instruments. Now, for a program like GarageBand, you can actually use your typing keyboard as your MIDI controller, and it works great. But if you're a piano player, I'm guessing that you're gonna want a little bit more room, a little bit more functionality, and so I have an awesome recommendation. And again, this is what I use personally in my original projects and my projects for clients. And that is the, what's it called? The M-Audio KeyStation 49. I had to look at it and double check. This keyboard will run you about $99 brand new. Seriously, bro? It's people, man. And their trucks. This keyboard will run you about $99 brand new, and sometimes you can even find a deal on it and get it for about $80 to $85. Okay, so that is our 5 main components of our home studio, but then there's also the little knickknacks like cables and music stands, but I don't feel like I need to put those in the list because that's pretty self-explanatory and they'll cost you $6 to $10 a piece at your local music store. So in closing, I want to say 2 things. Number 1, I want to say this is the gear that I've been using to run a studio where I'm releasing original music, where I'm producing music for paying clients, where I'm training other artists to write and produce their own music, and where I'm teaching more than 10,000 students online. And I'm doing it with this exact setup. It's super budget friendly, it's easy to use, and yet it's super high quality. And that's why I'm so excited to share this stuff with you guys. And then thought number 2 is, there are lots of options out there for microphones, for interfaces, for programs. I know there's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of great options out there. I'm not saying these are the only options or the only good options. I'm saying these are ones that I've used personally. I have history and experience with them, and they are fantastic. They get the job done. And honestly, I'd rather give you 1 or 2 options that are within the realm of my experience than give you 10 options. I don't actually think that's helpful. So there you have it, guys. A high quality, easy to use home studio for about $300. I hope this was helpful. Comment below if you have a question, and I'll see you in the next video.